So, how long have you known each other?
We was like brothers.
One day you came back. The past came back too.
There may have been a time when Damien had your back.
No friends in the industry.
But that's not what he's doing now.
My brothers been my brothers, man. They no killing me a flat.
Before I got locked up, I was the best. You a coward, bro. And a fraud. Try spending half your life in a cell. Watching somebody else live your life.
I had to draw the line.
I'm just getting started, little brother.
I had to draw the line between my brothers and my enemies.
Listen, guys, I'm probably gonna get a copyright strike for that because I left it on for way too long. But real spit. I want to give a quick review. I just finished watching. My hair's looking nappy. Don't watch this. Let me put a hat on because my hair's looking nappy. All right, don't watch that. Look, listen quickly, all right? Because this film, I was talking to the guys in the Discord, and it got me thinking. I want to just quickly give a review. We'll do a proper review on Tuesday night, or we do a full review. We'll talk about the show, talk about the film, talk about everything else that's gone on there. But I wanted to quickly talk about this because it was wild to me. Okay, wild to me. All right. Listen, this film had the greatest potential to be the best of all time. I'm talking it could have been the best of all time. It could have been the greatest film ever, all time. It could have been. It had all the potential to be the greatest of all time. Okay. It gave me Black Panther 2 kind of vibes where the film is good, but it could have been great, you know? And it just felt like, you know what? Something was missing from the recipe to make this the best ever film of all time. And listen, first and foremost, I want to say this. So Jonathan Mayers and Michael B. Jordan literally played the roles off their socks. I don't know if that's a term or phrase, but I'm making it one. But these two made this one of the greatest. These two actors are amazing. Okay, they are the greatest of our generation at this point in time. They put in work, and I'm not just talking about their body. I'm not just talking about the fact the physique was on there. I'm talking about the general ability to draw you in to into a film. And I feel like there was these two created chemistry on my screen that was profound. I will say this: more Jonathan Mayers than Michael B. Jordan, right? On this particular episode, on this particular film, Jonathan Mayers, there's something about him. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the awkwardness. I don't know if it's the mouth pouting that he does. But Jonathan Mayers is an amazing actor. And I mean, he's brilliant. Like brilliant of brilliant, right? So I've got no qualms with him as an actor. Michael B. Jordan, again, did a stellar performance as well. Tessa Thompson did a great performance as well as his wife as well. Listen, I've got nothing to shake the actors about. It's not the acting I have an issue with. No. The acting was on point. I mean, the way that the fights, first and foremost, is Michael B. Jordan's directing debut. Some of the cut scenes in the film, oh my days. I'm not going to spoil it for you. I'm not going to tell you this. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys. It's literally just giving my themes around. Some of the cut scenes in the fight scene between Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Mayers. Oh, but at points when he's punching him, I'm feeling it in my seat. It's not even 4D. You know what I mean? I felt it in my core being, right? So when he's punching him and I felt every punch. There's one punch you guys know as I come to what. If you've watched the film, I'm not going to say what it is. And the punch connects and you're like, oh my gosh. You know, right? The punch was serious. Had me feeling like it was Fight Night all over again on Xbox. Yeah? Great. I love, the exploration of emotions, talking about anger and bottled up past trauma that's happened. I love the exploration of that. I love how they brought the deaf daughter in as well and really learned how to sign with her, and it became part of the conversation and the language of the film. I love that part, and it was a great continuation because we saw obviously the daughter as a baby in was it Creed 2, and we saw how he was taking the baby to his fight place as well, right? We loved it, absolutely loved it. Great film. You know, great. I love that point as well. Great exploration of survivor's guilt as well, right? Knowing that, you know, where he survived and his boy didn't survive. Absolutely beautiful themes running through there. Now, the title of this review, really quickly, is this film had the potential to be the greatest of all time. And I'm going to tell you why I believe it could have been the greatest of all time, but it's not the greatest of all time. Okay. So, one thing that makes a film great or a story great is strong emotions for the character, whether it's disgust, hate, love, whether it's happiness, joy, fear. You have to feel something for the character in order to be able to identify with the character and make you want to either be in their shoes, feel like they are living in your life, or, you know, they're walking a mile in your shoes. You have to be able to feel. Now, I want to be very cautious because this is Michael B. Jordan's first directing role, and first of all, I love the film. I did. It's actually more of a compliment to what Michael B. Jordan did. And when I say compliment, what I mean by that is it had the potential to be even greater than it actually is. This film will go down in history, like as a great film that you can watch back, just like the Rockies, because you'll watch it and be like, you know what, this, as a black man, what he's done, produce this level of quality of film, it's going to go down in history. Children are going to watch this in 20, 30 years time, talking about the Creed series. No doubt. Yeah. Creed 1 probably being the top one. I ain't gonna lie to you. Creed 2 was good though, because Creed 2 was exploring some things. Can't lie to you. Love seeing Drago again. Drago is one beast of a guy. Love seeing Drago again. Okay. Here's my biggest gripes with the story. Too many subplots were unfinished. And it's making me think, too many subplots were unfinished. Okay. Again, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, so I'm going to keep it minimum. The trainee that Michael B. Jordan is training at the very beginning, where's his story end? We don't know. The Michael B. Jordan exploring his feelings about Damien in the first place, where did it end? We don't know. Where his wife was starting to feel some type of way, but she's producing artists, but she also has some resentment. We don't know. His daughter, who's got anger problems, didn't finish the story. We don't know. There were too many untied subplots working in a story that were not finished, or at least explored to a greater depth, so we can actually start to go down rabbit holes that will take us away from the main story a little bit and also get us to kind of buy into the film more, right? Too many subplots were left unfazed. But you know what? I hear it. Okay? I hear it. Felicia said you can put it in part 4. Potentially you could. I wish then that could have been pushed more, as in you're thinking about, because if you, again, when you tell a story, you almost have to work backwards so that you can begin to parachute into part 4 for us. So now, I mean, right now it feels like part 3 done and we done. Yeah, I part 3 done and it done. Yeah, part 3 done and it done. Okay, and it doesn't feel like it's parachuting into part 4. It doesn't feel like Creed 4 is coming out. It don't feel like Creed 4 is coming out. I don't even want Creed 4 to come out at this point, because there was not enough for me to go, I need Creed 4. Yeah, okay, I need Creed 4. You know, and you know, there was none of that was happening. The way it ended, the way everything went, no, didn't give me Creed 4 ending. Right, that's it. First part is subplots. Part number 2 is, if you have an antagonist, I guess he's an antagonist, but not really an antagonist in the end, right? I need bad blood. Okay. The thing about boxing is there is no nice people when you're in the ring. If you're the greatest of all time, there's no niceties in the ring. I need to see some bad blood because the film, first and foremost, okay. No, let me take it back. Of course, there are niceties, okay, because some champions really are. But the reality is, I needed to see some bad blood in this ring. I've done a stretch of 18 years thinking that it's your fault, and I've taken a path to go and take what's mine. I need to create some carnage. Okay. All right. And it felt like it was rushed. That's what it felt like. So I've actually watched the film 1.5 times. Here's why I've watched it 1.5 times. I went into the cinema the first time. I kind of snuck in, kind of. Okay. Just in case anyone says it takes a minute, right? And I actually ended up watching the last part of the film rather than the first part of the film. Then I went to watch it again, the first full way through. Okay. When I watched it, I watched the last, I think, half an hour. And I didn't know what part of the film I was walking into. I saw the part I was watching, and I was like, rah, this might be the beginning, or it might be the end. I'm not really sure. Started watching it, and it got towards the end. So when I watched it the full way through, I said, oh my gosh. From where I watched it from, there is not enough in the beginning to warrant this end. There's not enough. There's not enough in the beginning to warrant the end. You know, there wasn't enough. There wasn't enough that was going on to give me this understanding. There wasn't a depth. So I totally get that. He was definitely fighting himself in the past. I totally get that. But there was a lack of bad blood. I'm sorry. If I'm going to start coming after you because I believe you're to blame for my 18 years in prison, I need to see some bad blood. Like, I need to see that this brother has got intent to hurt. I need to see he's got intent to be malicious. It was too intricately woven. And that's what I'm saying, Trey. So and again, it wasn't explored very well. Because again, these themes that you're talking about require time we need to see scenes where this has been explored intimately. That part wasn't done. It was glossed over real quick. It was rushed. And that's my problem with it. You know, that's my problem with it. What I wanted to see was, okay, he's come out of prison. All right, he's in training camp. He's with you now. I wanted to, okay, great. But you know what? You've almost got to do the contrast, right? Michael B. Jordan's got to do we need to see more of what Michael B. Jordan does for him, right? Okay, yes, he put him in the gym. Yes, he put on a fight. Before he gets to the point where he puts him in a fight with Nick Chavez, I need to see Michael B. Jordan go lengths for him. Because you see, when you're doing a film, you have to make it bait, but then make it just not too bait that is too obvious. But you gotta push more. So what I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is, you've got to stoke my emotions, right? So here's one of the things that could have been done to kind of get it to that point. We should have had a few more mini scenes where Michael B. Jordan is doing things for Damien. Whether like Damien's in a pickle and he helps him out with some money or something. Damien's in a pickle and, or Damien needs a lift or whatever. You just see Michael B. Jordan do little things for him. Because the huge thing that he's asking for to be in a championship fight, it's so big, but then it's like you don't get to appreciate how big of a task or whatever favor he's asking of Michael B. Jordan. If we had seen like pressures from sponsors or people contacting Adonis and saying to Adonis, hey, Adonis, listen, look, what you're trying to do, there's pushback now because there's things happening. You have to make it so much resistance so that it magnifies the greatness of what he's asking him to do right now. This then makes it like, oh my God, I can't believe he's doing this much for him. That's mad. You know what I mean? That is mad. That's so mad. So the first part should have been, we should have seen some pushback on what he was asking for from outside forces. so that it creates more of that tension. You're like, oh my, like I can't believe brother's going against this person, just to do this for his boy because he's got what? Survivor's guilt. You know, that forces that story to come out a little bit more, right? And then, yes, Trey Mac, you said it as well. Then have a fight then Drago fight should have happened. He should have fought somebody of notorious. You can't go from 0 to straight. It's too much. Okay, Rocky was then, but this one, he needed. Do you know what it would have been? It would have been wavy, even if they went down the YouTube route. You know, they see Dame, whatever, in sparring. Someone took a hidden video. He starts knocking out Negroes, and then he ends up like people are talking about like this could be the next champion. Like, do you know what I'm saying? There's more pressure on Michael B. Jordan now to give this guy a chance, right? Before he gets to the betrayal part. You know what I mean? Like it was so swift, the betrayal. It's like, you know? And it's like, how did he know there was no one else that wanted to fight Nick Chavez? Again, how did he know that nobody else wanted to spar with Nick Chavez? Nobody wanted to fight Nick Chavez. Nobody else wanted to box Nick Chavez. How did he know that? Like, there's other people that would have boxed. Like, you know, again, give me something. You know, give me something. Yeah, prison highlight reel, something to make it a bit more believable. Is giving Black Panther 2 again. Shuri becoming Black Panther without no training arc. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just going to go from 0 to hero? Like, come on. You know? Give me something to give some resistance. Give me something to build upon so that I can, because I felt like he didn't earn it. So it's like, oh, okay, well, he's fighting him. It's like, it didn't make me fear, oh my God, like Dame is dangerous. It felt like you're doing your friend a favor. And it's like, okay, but I want Dame to be dangerous. I want it to be a case of, yeah, it's your boy, but you know he's dangerous. Where was the fight between Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Mayers before they got into the ring? There should have been a fight before then. I'm talking about when they were kids. There could have been a nice little scene where we see Jonathan and Michael B. Jordan as kids sparring, fighting, and you see Adonis lose, right? Or you see Adonis get knocked out or whatever. And then another, again, inferring how difficult this task is. Because at this moment, there's no difficulty of the task. You know what I mean? Yes, Chavez didn't. Yeah, he definitely didn't. Right? Chavez didn't. And again, it's like all of a sudden he's gone from 0 to now fighting the champ. And okay, great. If he's going to fight the champ, Nick Chavez, then he needs to be an underdog. But again, going from there was no real scenes again highlighting just how much of an underdog Damian is. We know that he came from prison and went into a fight, but what I'm saying is there was literally, because what it became was nepotism, almost an aspect of nepotism. Someone doing a favor for you based upon the fact they have a history of you. I say nepotism wasn't his kid, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. So in some sense, it was lacking that aspect. Sorry. It was lacking that aspect where it you know, again, it was like he did him a favor and suddenly he's in a ring with Nick Chavez. Again, I didn't even get to see Nick Chavez fight. So I don't even know if Nick Chavez is wavy. Again, we didn't even see Nick Chavez. Who did we see Nick Chavez fight? We didn't see him fight anybody. All we heard was his sparring was sick. I needed to see 3 or 4 fights. It could have been short 2-minute things. It didn't have to be long. Could have been 2-minute intervals of scenes. Nick Chavez just knocking Negroes out. Bow, bow, bow. Knocking guys bigger than him. Bow, bow, bow. You know what I mean? Just bow, bow, bow. Just knocking people out. You know what I'm saying? And we're just seeing, and we're thinking, raw, Nick Chavez is the realest kind of deal. But I didn't even believe Nick Chavez was a real deal. In 2 rounds, old boy gave him the elbow, punch in the arm, and knocked him out. So to me, it's like, well, okay, what? This is not a dangerous guy. It's your friend. You know, it's your friend. So it's like, okay, then you know, again, it was just nice, like Michael B. Jordan himself. I love Michael B. Jordan, by the way. I think he's amazing. But it was just nice, like Michael B. Jordan. It's like it needed some grit. I needed some grit from him. This brother's come from prison. I need to see some shots with him of the gangsters. Michael B. Jordan didn't have to be there. We could have seen some scenes where, like the beach. I think Felicia, you're talking about the beach, right? There should have been scenes before the beach where we see Jonathan Mayers literally hanging with a couple goons, you know, talking about his ambitions or whatever, doing some mad training or something like that, blah, blah, blah. You know, maybe getting into a scuffle or 2. You know what I mean? It was just too clean. This brother came out of prison and was very clean. It's like, It's too clean, right? I honestly, so when I watch, because I watched it twice, I think I have a different point of view. I watched it from the end, and then I watched the whole film over again. When I watched it towards the end, our boy Damien was fighting Nick Chavez. So when he beats Nick Chavez, I'm thinking to myself, damn, I've missed 3 or 4 fights of this guy banging people up, and that's why he beat him up. Then when I watched the whole film, I'm like, so he didn't even fight nobody. He didn't even fight nobody. What? So we didn't even see a prison arc of him in prison fighting man and knocking Negroes out. You know, if you really want to go down this emotional route again, I'm down for it. I want to see I want to see black men exploring their emotions and talking about it. And you have to weave that in too. So I want to see that. There could have been conversations about this. There could have been a scene, and it could have been cliche. It's very cliche of me to say this. There could have been scenes with him, with Dame, also meeting a therapist in prison, right? And him meeting the therapist or whatever, and putting the blame on old boy, and the therapist saying, you still haven't learned after 18 years. How can it still be his fault? And he's just so hard-headed, like, of course it's his fault. I'm coming for everything that he has. That could have been a start of my movie. I want bad blood. I want to taste blood. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I had no real strong feelings for. In fact, if anything, I wanted Damien to win. Can I be honest with you? I wanted Damien to even win at one point. I wanted Damien to knock out Creed's ass so that I can get a second fight, so that Creed can say, "Let me come back for a second fight." You know, I even wanted him to knock out Creed so the fight could turn into something else. So that the second fight would be even more dangerous. But I didn't get it. It very much gave Black Panther 2 all over again. Right? That's also very true as well. But Trey, here's the thing. If they're going to make him dirty, then you have to make him dirty all the way through. Someone's just not dirty in the boxing ring. They're dirty in life. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, make him a very smart, like you said, then either that, then make him a very tactical genius in the ring. Noticing weak points on a body. Because I thought that's what they were going with it. Because, you know, Michael B. Jordan obviously he notices things. That's how his thing is time and everything like that, which I get. They could have done him as an antithesis to the way that he fights, which is either raw power, raw strength, raw speed or whatever, or, you know what, he's got his own little thing where he sees things. And that's what I'm talking about, the fight arc. Give me fight arcs. Let me see these fights going on. You've done such a brilliant job, Michael B. Jordan, of showing us these 2 fights. It looks so good, but we needed more because we needed to be able to. Oh my God, he's punching guys like bow, bow, bow. He's got a left that he hits him with bow. You know, you didn't have to even show us the whole thing. You could have even done a scene where Dave is even sitting in front of the TV and he's watching 3 or 4 of his own fights with boxers in a ring. And we could have seen a montage of him going to get to where he's got to. We needed that fight arc. You know? It's like, come on. So I'm not saying that Michael B. Jordan didn't do a good job. He did a great job. I'm saying these little tweaks would have made this the greatest film ever. The greatest film ever. Because if I keep doing that, who else will watch the film? But the beef between brothers, is exactly why I think this film could have been the greatest ever. Because who hasn't had a fight with their boy before? Who hasn't been angry at their boy before? Who hasn't fell out with their boy before? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So, and I think the reason why I'm seeing it that way is because I actually watched, and again, I keep saying that, I watched the end. And in my head, I'm thinking to myself, maybe we need to watch films from the end. Whenever someone does a film, you need to watch it from the end and see, and we're like, because I watched it from like almost 3/4 of the way in, and it does not give what it needs to give for the first quarter, because the first quarter it just rushes things. And then I checked the time. I said runtime is 1 hour and 56 minutes. I said, was that film that long? It didn't feel that long, which is a positive for Michael B. Jordan. It didn't feel that long. Anybody else felt that the film was long? I didn't feel the film was long. This film could have easily been 3-4 hours. This film could have easily been 3 or 4 hours. Let's be honest. This film could have easily been 3 or 4 hours, and I would have enjoyed it. Me personally, I don't mind sitting for a 3-hour film or a 4-hour film if it's well done, if there's a story to go by, if I can buy into the characters. But this film was 2 hours long, and it felt so quick, and yet there was so little done. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I mean? So, and the reason why I'm saying that is because obviously I'm writing a novel, and in my head, I'm writing the novel backwards, because they tell you to write, when you write a novel, you have to write it backwards, because you need to know what's going to happen at the end so that you can kind of weave in little things in the between the time. And hey, look, when I have my chance, someone might critique it and be like, it could have been better. And I hope they will, right? Because I'm not saying it was bad. It wasn't bad. I'm just saying it had that, there was just that little bit that would have made this the greatest film ever. You know? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, Trey. That's what I'm saying. He learned how to pick apart, and it wasn't. Again, it wasn't. It was like, what? No, wait, what? Why? Wait, what? Wait. And that's what I'm saying about driving home that narrative. Okay, driving home that narrative of being able to piece together the things that you see and be like, no. Now we see the little nuggets. Oh my God, like that's why he did that. Oh my God, that's why this happened. Oh my God, that's why this happened. Do you know what I'm saying? And again, I'm not saying Michael B. Jordan didn't do a good job. I'm saying this is for growth purposes. Hopefully in future, he does even greater job, because this was the job. This was the film that could have been the greatest of all times. You just because you have two great actors. I just want to point this out. Jonathan Mayers, yeah, his character is so believable. It's political. The first time I see him on the screen, I'm like, I'm a little bit like, what's going on? Man's on a car. I'm like, oi. And then you see him kind of like, you hear his moments where you're not sure he's going to flip or not. There's little moments where he's talking to them and he says a line and you're not sure if he's going to flip or not, or he's going to say something wild. You're never sure. I love that. And then he goes into the fight scenes and you know, he's now sparring and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, okay, great. I see that. Then obviously now, of course, he has that moment where he does his little thing in you know, where the surprise situation. And again, because it wasn't built up appropriately, even the surprise of him working with the guy to knock out Drago. I don't want to say it too much because I'm going to spoil the film. But even the thing to do with the Drago situation, all right, it's like it doesn't even have that same impact, because they didn't even honor that moment, really and truly. Because the conversation they have on the beach, I'm thinking to myself, MBJ, you didn't write back the letters. This is the part that really frustrated me the most, right? This frustrated me the most. You didn't do the letters. You found the letters. You're angry at your mum. You go to meet your boy. You're not. You choose one. Are you still vexed, or are you going there? You're like, bro, I didn't see the letters. I'm sorry. Let's make it up. And then he punches. You know, give me some bad blood. When you got to the beach, you were begging him, telling him, bro, I'm sorry. I didn't even see the letters. I know you was writing to me. It's my fault. And then he punches you. Then I'm gonna be like, no, brother, how you gonna punch your boy like that? He apologized already, and you're punching him. Bad blood. Right? Bad blood. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? There has to be some inconvenience in here. There has to be some, you know, something that's going to make you antagonize. Like, no, I'm against the antagonist now. I'm against him. By the time they got to a fight, I was like, I don't even know who I really want to win at this point. I don't really care who wins. You know what I mean? It got to the end of the fight, and I said, I don't actually care who wins. I don't. Personally, I don't care. Yeah? And I want to say this too. The ending, okay? The fight scene in the ring, some of the most beautiful artistry of camera work ever done. Okay? Some of the artistry by the cameramen in those shots in the ring were beautiful. Absolutely stunning. Amazing. And wonderful to watch. But this is me personally. I'm an action person, so I'm going to be biased, okay? I wanted to see more. Okay? I felt like I've been cheated because we had one fight with Chavez and Dame, and now we got Dame and him again, and I felt like I've been cheated. I felt like I've been cheated. It's like, I get it, but the thing was it was kind of long, but not long. So it's like you get the first round or two, and almost, you know what it was? Have you ever listened? Do you know what it was? The last fight that they have. Have you ever listened to a track? In fact, I know you have. If you're on TikTok, you know this. You listen to a track for about a minute, and you're like, "This song is so sick." You go from TikTok to YouTube to find the song, okay? And then you find the song, you're like, actually, the rest of the song is trash. It's like, that 1 minute of the song is so amazing, but the rest of it is like, oh. That's how I felt about the fight. And I'll tell you why. When it started off, this is one of the greatest action pieces I've ever seen. The punches, the swings, the ducks, my gosh. Blood, some of the fighting that was happening there. Then the brother threw me into the zone where there's no crowd. I don't want to spoil it again, but there's a scene in there. You guys know what I'm talking about, the scene, right? And it felt like it lost. I felt like I lost I felt I lost the intensity, right? Because it went into a very metaphorical kind of thing, and it lost the intensity for me. Just for me personally, and it may be because I like things straight shooting. I don't mind metaphorical things. I just felt like it wasn't the moment for it. I just didn't feel like this was the moment for that particular thing to happen. But again, it's a director's call, and I'm not fighting him. But it just felt like it let me lose a bit of the intensity, because the first 2 rounds y'all were swinging, and then that little montage thing that you got in between it, it's like, oh, I see it, and I know what you're trying to tell us. You're trying to come with a deeper meaning for the film, but I just want to see you. I'm gonna lie to you. I just want to see you, Trevor. I just want to see you two trade blows. Okay? I just want to see you two just trading blows. Okay? And I want to see it do. I want to see it beautifully done. Okay? And then when it flips back into the thing, it's the last round. It's like, oh, so wait, so you're gonna flip into that and then go straight into the last round. So we miss like 10 rounds. What the frick? I said, why? Okay. I said, why? You guys, and it's like, again, you've robbed us of a key moment of the film, which could have been so beautiful. Could have been so beautiful. Yeah? So beautiful. It could have been. Right? Things like that, you know? Do you know what I'm saying? Just things like that could have made it a little bit different. Do you know what I'm saying? Again, and like Trey was saying as well, at this point, I didn't even know who I wanted to root for. I didn't care. I didn't care enough. And that's my point. You have to make me feel something. I didn't care if Dame lost or Creed lost personally, right? Of course, I voted a bit more for Creed because he's a hero, but you didn't make him much of a hero, of course, because of what he done. But that's what I'm saying to you. Even he can still be wrong about abandoning his boy. Right? And we can still have that conversation. But then when that beach scene happened, Michael B. Jordan should have been pleading, I'm sorry, I'm this, I'm that, and making it look like he's really trying to make amends. And then the guy just clatters him. You know, then clatters him. At that point, it was like they were talking and he had already insulted him. Then he's come to fight him. And it's like, oh, well, then I don't know who I'm rooting for, because at this point, you kind of deserve the punch. Like, I couldn't even root for the hero anymore. You know? Yeah, do you know what? That would have been intriguing. If it had been a draw, that would have been intriguing. You know? Yeah, I've been on one since then, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm loving seeing our black representation on screens. I'm loving it. I really am loving it. And I'm not saying I don't want to see it. I want to see it more. Okay? I want to see it more. What I'm saying is, I want to see great storytelling. I want us to do what we do normally, which is we have to work 10 times harder because we do things 10 times better than them. I don't want us to make the same mediocre films that our counterparts have been making for the last decade or so. Because I'm gonna lie to you, cinema has been mediocre for the last 10 years. I can't lie to you. Been mediocre for me personally. There's been a lot of mediocre films from our counterparts. You know who they are, a certain demographic. There's a lot of mediocre films that have been pushed into our major screens that don't do wheat. And I don't want us to go down the same route of making mediocre films, just having our face on there. No, I want us to make films that really captivate and gravitate and cause us to really, do you know what I'm saying? Because Michael B. Jordan, I heard his interview, he was saying like he wanted to explore men's masculinity. What in the film explored that? Do you know what I mean? What in the film fully explored that? What in the film really explored that? You know what I mean? I'm not asking for toxicity. I'm not asking for blackicity. I don't want to see more blackness. What I'm asking for is storytelling. I want to see some authentic storytelling. Okay? I want to see some authentic storytelling. I want to see some explorations. If we're going to deep dive into male masculinity, let's deep dive into it. Let's start unpacking it and unraveling it. Right? There was a part in the film where Tessa, his wife, says to him, just because you don't handle your emotions and you fight that way and you fight as a way of communicating, that could have been something. We could have gone deeper down that rabbit hole. We could have gone deeper down that rabbit hole. She dropped a bar in there. Deeper rabbit hole. Let's go. But again, it was kind of paved over again. You know? By the time the end of the film came, I was expecting Michael B. Jordan to say to Jonathan, it's our win. Do you know what I mean? Like I was supposed, by the end of the film, that's how it made me feel. It's like, well, Michael B. Jordan must just tell him it's our win. It's not my win anymore. It's our win. It's like I needed more. But yeah, I got to get off because we've got men's panel to get to. So, guys, that was a quick one. But Tuesday night, we're going to do it. If you want to discuss Creed, Tuesday night, if you want to discuss Creed, hit me up. If you have my it's Insta, hit me up. If you know our email, you can hit us up on there as well. Tuesday night, we're going to go 7 p.m. EST. We're going to do a Creed review, open panel. So you guys can also discuss it as well. So if you want to get on there, email us, okay, so we can discuss some different points of view, maybe some ideas. You know what I mean? Like I said, we're gonna be a force, man. Yeah, we're gonna be a force. Yeah, Creed 2 was definitely better. Creed 2 was definitely, and that's weird because usually first films are usually the best, but Creed 2 was different. Creed 2 hit me in all types of emotions, all types. Just saying. The part that hit me was when his mom was. I'm not saying. Yeah, sorry. I'm about to tell people that, but yeah. Anyway, let me jump off, guys. Love and appreciation, guys. We'll see you again a little bit later. But if you want to join the conversation, like I said, we'll be back in that as well. We're discussing it in the Discord as well. So if you have a Discord, jump in that conversation as well. Our Discord. We're having this kind of conversation. So let us know as well. All right. But we'll talk to the men's panel now. Appreciate you guys. Still lots of it. And we'll see you again very soon. Much love.